Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Game recap number 61 coming at you here on Frozen Oil. Thanks for tuning in. And honestly, it gets to a point as an Oiler fan, you think you're not living in reality.
You think that's air you're breathing now?
You think that there's no sense in the world that could make sense of having Connor McDavid for 10 years on your team, and you just can't get it together. So the Edmonton Oilers played the Anaheimducks today, and the Edmonton Oilers lose their sixth of their last 7 games. They drop an important game at home, been on the road for 5 games. There's a 2-week break before that, and 18,500 people went home with barely anything to cheer for. Just a brutal game. No effort, no oomph, no Oilers, no mojo. And I don't know how they're going to correct this, because all the decisions made in the offseason, we're talking August, is really biting them right now. They look really slow. They have no youth. They keep trading away draft picks, trading away future draft picks. So let's start this off before we even get into the stats. The Oilers acquired Trent Frederick today from the Boston Bruins. And essentially, the Oilers had to shell out prospect Shane LaChance, a 2026 fourth round pick, and a 2025 second round pick. From who? From the St. Louis Blues. That's what we got in return for the Broberg offer sheet. So, I mean, knowing you screwed up so bad on that offer sheet situation, and on top of that, right now, just to throw away that second pick for Trent Frederick, who is an unrestricted free agent after this season, much different than the Ekholm trade, where we did give up a lot of youth. Whether they panned out or not is not our business. We gave up a lot of youth in that trade because Ekholm had some term on his contract. So it's just a circus. You can't come off a Game 7 Stanley Cup final loss and just have streaks like this. It's a different situation. I mean, I hope they turn it around. I really do. But as we've mentioned so many times, the emotional roller coaster of being an Edmonton Oilers fan there's nothing like it. And sometimes I think this is maybe done on purpose because it seems to be working. For a fan base that brought in revenues, again, of $388 million, maybe this is our destiny. Maybe this is it for us, because they seem to be, as a business, doing very, very, very well. And, you know, the fan base mentally needs a cup. The fan base needs a cup. We can't keep watching the best player in the world dance around every night, and we say to ourselves, man, if this guy had some support, this team would be unstoppable. And what makes it even worse is, on top of that, we have maybe the second best player in the world on the same team with that best player in the world, hands down. There's no gap in professional sports when you look at who's the best athlete in that sport and who's number 2. When it comes to hockey, that gap between McDavid and whoever is considered number 2 is the biggest gap in professional sports. And for us to be sitting here again, getting rocked by, again, a team that's not even in a wild card spot with 20 games left in the season, 21 games, whatever it is, it just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not going to go through all the things that need to happen because we've been doing that for the last few episodes. But maybe this is what it is for us. We keep getting our hopes up. We keep going absolutely insane when, we don't get to the promised land. And then we start it all over again. From a fan base, it's getting tiring. But like I said, it seems to be working because there's no other explanation for how we're in this situation after 10 years of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. There's no other explanation other than maybe this is what it is. Maybe this is what they want because they seem to be doing very well. And when your team generates more money than the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's a big deal. That's a very, very big deal. So we'll get to what the Oilers faithful have to say here on X right away. Before we do that, we're going to quickly plug a few things. So we just surpassed 600 subscribers. We really appreciate it. It's hard to do video after video and nothing changes. It seems, in the long run, nothing has really changed. The weaknesses that were addressed before the season even began have not been addressed, and here we are. But more importantly, here you are, along for the ride. So really appreciate it to everyone that has subscribed. It goes a long way. So let's get right into these stats. And final score: the Anaheim Ducks 6, the Edmonton Oilers 2. First time on home ice in a month. And Edmonton Oilers 34 shots on goal, Anaheim 27. Oilers ahead on the face-off dot, 56-43. Oilers 2 for 2 on the power play, and the Ducks go 0 for 2. The Oilers 28 hits, the Anaheimducks 21. 28 hits. I don't know what they're counting as hits these days, but 28 hits. They had 30 the other day. I don't see it happening. We put out a comment on X today about, the Florida Panthers have 1,700 plus hits on the season. They're first in the NHL. And the Edmonton Oilers have just over 800. So less than half. And that's why they're 32nd in the league when it comes to hits. And they're averaging, I think, 13 hits a game. It's just not enough. There's no physicality. And a lot of people were saying the Oilers are saving themselves. They're saving their bodies and their energy for the finals and this and that. Well, you keep playing like this, you might not even make it to the playoffs. This is beyond a slump now. We're in a bad situation here with the Edmonton Oilers. And I don't know how I'm going to make this upbeat, but it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to have the hopes that we had coming off of a Game 7 Stanley Cup final loss and to be losing 6 of 7 and, losing to the Anaheimducks 6-2 on home ice after a month away from it. So frustrating to say the least. So let's just go right on over to Twitter X and see what the Oilers faithful have to say after today's game. Not a lot of positivity in the Oilers community on Twitter X. And just a reminder, you can follow us on Twitter/X. Our handle is @FrozenOilHockey. So if you are on there, give us a follow. If you're not on there, make an account just for the Oilers. It's so worth it if you're a diehard fan. So comment number 1 here comes from Klima's Lid. Since February 1st, the Edmonton Oilers are averaging 4 goals against per game, tied for worst in the NHL. But hey, the goaltending is fine. And yeah, the numbers that are coming out now, especially since February, it's really eye-opening. It's getting to the point where you hope and pray that this is going to end right away, but if it continues to slide, they might be facing a really, really tough opponent in the first round, and or the worst case scenario, which is keep this losing streak going, keep playing like this, and possibly miss the playoffs, which would be an absolute travesty at this point in the era of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Plain and simple. There's no other way to put it. Next one here is from Zach at ZJ Lang. The Oilers have a league worst points percentage of 300 since the start of February. So, a league worst winning percentage of 300, or points percentage, of 300 since the start of February. So, this is not a batting average. That's, batting 400 is phenomenal. This is a winning points percentage. It's, if you're winning 30% of your games since February, or acquiring 30% of the points that are available since February, you're gonna drop in the standings, and the Oilers are falling fast. Next one here is from DC at David __co. Year 10 of McDavid, and the Oilers brass still sit on their hands and not give him a true number one goalie. By far the most incompetent organization in the effing league. And again, year 10 of McDavid, still no goalie. There hasn't been a goalie here in a very long time that we could consider a true number one. Honestly, in my opinion, it's been since Tommy Salo. But it's been a long time. You're talking over 20 years. It's crazy. But to not get it together for McDavid between the pipes it's just unfathomable that this continues to go on. Next one here is from DYL at DHockey13. I can't believe the Oilers have McDavid for 10 years and they decided, you know what? Let's hire Chiarelli, Holland, and Bowman. Laugh my ass off. It ain't that funny, because the truth is, it's just insane. It's just insanity. It's insanity. That's why that loss, Game 7, hurt so much, because if they would have won that cup, none of this would have mattered. None of this would have mattered. Moving on to the next one from friend of the show, Eric Friesen. Welcome home, Oscar Klefbom. Once an Oiler, always an Oiler. And there is Oscar there. And so cool to see that he's fine and he's good. And, obviously Oiler fans were upset that, it was mentioned that he's 31 years old right now in his prime. And boy, we could use a defenseman like him right now. But unfortunately, injury cut his career short, and but like Eric said, once an Oiler, always an Oiler. And yeah, we get mad at our players when they don't perform, but at the end of the day, we love our Oilers. But man, this management, they got to get it together. It's crazy. Next one is from David Staples at D Staples. Message from the hockey gods. Oilers, you need a goalie. You're going to see a lot of that coming here. Next one from Zach Wheel. According to Natural Stat Trick, the Oilers have 10 high danger chances and the Ducks have 6. The Oilers have 2 goals and the Ducks have 6. You cannot blame anyone except for Skinner and Pickard. And yeah, we're riding Skinner and Pickard hard, but if you would like to to look at previous videos from this season, I said a very, very long time ago, let's ride Pickard throughout this season, because the inconsistency with Skinner is just still way too much. He still needs time. But at the end of the day, both Skinner and Pickard, they're not number one goalies at this moment in time. They're just not. And, you know, you're hearing it from the Oilers faithful. They're upset. They're upset because a lot of these goals, they just can't go in. I mean, I'm not going to blame Pickard for a couple of the goals in the first period. Some unfortunate bounces. And, you know, he was 10-1 coming into this game. But when your goaltending's shaky and your defense is shaky and your offense is not bringing any physicality and can't put the puck in the net, other than, again, the two players I mentioned, everybody knows who they are, it's not a recipe to win games. Next one here, DYL at DHockey13. I hate to say it, but whatever upgrade the Oilers make from now to Friday, whether it's a massive upgrade on the forward or defensive side, nothing will matter if they don't address the goaltending situation. There's another one. Next one is from Ahmed at NHL_Bouchard. The Oilers have lost 6 of their last 7 games. In the 6 games they lost, none of their goalies had above a 900% save percentage. Sounding like a broken record now, but the issue has never been more clear, but management is content with blowing another year. And if they blow this year, holy cow. DEFCON 1 for the fan base. DEFCON 1. Going on to the next one from JB at JackieB_16. Jack, the Ducks are finding cracks in the Oilers' defense. The crack. So that's a pretty big crack in the Oilers' defense. Here's a funny one from Bagged Milk. At least the Oilers won 55.4% of the faceoffs. Hey, high five, guys. Yeah, we are in some very, very low territory here. Next one is from Tyler DT. If Bowman and JJ don't have a new goalie by the end of Friday, then it's a slap in the face directly to fans who pay good money on this team and who are passionate about the team. If any of us were this negligent at our jobs, we would be canned. Figure it out, management. And what can you? I mean, that statement says it all. I mean, there's a few days left. At this point, it doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. But I think these, you know, requests to get people to make trades, you know, to get these star players to still come in at this point in the season. I don't know if it's going to work out. Cap issues still plaguing us from Holland's management, and yeah, I don't know where honestly things are going to end up. So that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And most importantly, go Oilers, go.
Or hockey, the channels you need. Oilers on the ice, unstoppable speed. Chasing the cup, we're gonna succeed. With David leading, we're built to exceed.